start with this big political story. The ANC's Integrity Commission is recommending that the party's Secretary General Ace Magashule step aside. The commission further recommends he be suspended pending the outcome of his criminal case. Magashule is facing fraud and corruption charges relating to the more than 200 million rand asbestos tender project in the Free State. The National Executive Committee will now consider their recommendations. Well, let's get some reaction then to that news coming out of the ANC and LAWSON NAIDOO from the Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution joins us now. So, LAWSON, the Integrity Commission coming to the conclusion there and saying in one sentence, the Integrity Commission recommends to the NEC the immediate implementation of the NEC resolution of 6 to 8 August 2020, which they quote for ease of reference, which really is about members who are charged with corruption stepping aside pending the finalization of their cases. How important a step is this in terms of the body politic in the ANC?
Good morning to Lesizwe. Thank you. Look, it's obviously an important step that has been taken by the Integrity Commission. We know that this issue was discussed at the NEC meeting last week, and it was agreed that the Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Magashule, would subject himself to the Integrity Commission. He stated that he was going there willingly, that he had asked for an opportunity to go to the Integrity Commission. So one assumes that having done so, Mr. Magashule will now respect and abide by the recommendation that has been made by the Commission, and that decision will be endorsed and implemented by the National Executive Committee. Clearly, the onus now is on Mr. Magashule to step aside, to relinquish his post as Secretary General without being suspended or necessitating that the NEC take a decision to suspend him.
And there's a bit of a climb down as I read the statement from the Integrity Commission. For instance, going from a position where Ace Magashule was saying that he would only step aside if told to do so by the branches of the ANC in a conference, to actually an acknowledgement during his interaction with the Integrity Commission that actually he would step aside if so instructed by the NEC. That's a climb down, isn't it?
Well, it is, and I think Mr. Magashule has subjected himself to the authority and the jurisdiction of the Integrity Commission, and that the processes that the ANC, internal processes that the ANC have put in place with the Integrity Commission, a decision that was endorsed by the recent NEC meeting, that this is how the matter will be dealt with. So, as I said, one would expect that Mr. Magashule must now respect that decision and abide by it.
And in terms of the resolution itself, because what the Integrity Commission is doing is basically using the National Executive Committee's own words against itself, as it were, in that it's reminding them that these are the words that you yourselves adopted not only through the branches at the conference, but also in subsequent NEC resolutions. What about this whole debate around the constitutional soundness of some of the resolutions around stepping aside? That whole debate about it takes a while for court processes to be concluded, and therefore for a person to step aside means that that person will be out of action for a significant period of time. Do you think this particular position settles that particular debate?
Well, I think it does, because I think the position should always have been that there's a distinction between the internal processes of the ANC dealing with issues of moral and ethical leadership that would require someone to step aside as a leader of the movement. And that's got to be seen in distinct from a legal process in terms of which the Constitution of the country guarantees the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Those are two separate processes and two separate issues. Here the ANC has got to take a decision as to what its own moral standing is, and the kind of leaders that it wants holding a high office in the organization, and that's very different from a legal process. So I think that this is a correct decision. It is a decision that I think endorses the view that people who are charged with serious offences and fraud and corruption, as you said, amounting to over 200 million rands in looting of public funds, is a serious offence. And in those circumstances, I think it's the correct thing to do for Mr. Magashule to step aside.
But is it settled for you, Lawson, and this is just me trying to get your thinking around the legal aspects of it all, right? Is it settled for you around what is called inside the ANC the Malindi position, the whole situation that says, it's easier for someone who is in an elected ANC capacity to step aside because nothing breaks there. You can operate the organization without a Deputy Secretary General, a Treasurer General for a while because someone will just simply step in and carry out those roles. Whereas if you're talking about a position where someone is deployed by the party, for instance, a member of parliament, what does stepping aside mean for a member of parliament in the interim, awaiting the conclusion of a criminal trial? There is no stepping aside in parliament other than you are resigning, which is a permanent, remedy to a situation that ostensibly is temporary. It's in the interim, pending the outcome. I don't know if you get where I'm going. Are you settled that whole debate is settled in that regard?
Well, in my mind, it is. I think the distinction that's being sought to be made is an artificial one. In terms of people, holding elected public office, we know that given the electoral system that we have, these are party deployees. And if the party loses faith in a deployee, whether it's a member of parliament, a member of provincial legislature, or a councillor, the party can remove that person and replace them. And we've seen that done on numerous occasions over the years. So I don't see that being an obstacle or a hurdle.
I get that, Lawson, but what I'm asking is, the party losing faith in a person is a permanent fix to what ostensibly is a temporary situation, right? We are saying you are stepping aside pending the conclusion of your trial. The trial could, not go anywhere. In March next year, the charges could be dropped. You have had to resign from public office, which is a permanent remedy.
Well, again, it's not a permanent remedy because someone can be, reinstated in that position down the line. So, I don't think that that's an argument that really holds any water and says that you can't be asked to step aside because a criminal case is not concluded. Obviously, this is done, as you said, pending the outcome. So once the outcome is clear and if a person is acquitted, they have the opportunity then to be reinstated into a position, whether it's the same one or a different one, is again a question of a decision of the political party concerned.
Got you loud and clear. I just needed to put that out there and tease it out because it is part of what is called inside the ANC the Malindi position, one assumes, from the advocate Gcina Malindi. Lastly, Lawson, there's a strong statement being made there about the issue of unity, right? When I read that statement, it says, the Integrity Commission understands that a united ANC is crucial for us to deliver on our promises, but unity can only be built around a common vision and purpose as understood when we talk of unity in action. Unity is not about keeping individuals happy in order to avoid division within our ranks. Strong statement there in trying to settle that particular debate around are people being persecuted, and therefore we don't want to be seen to be persecuting people, and we will push the line of unity and therefore not act in line with resolutions we have taken in the past.
Well, I think it's an important statement because, what is the basis of this unity? It's got to be a unity around the core values and principles of the political organization, around issues of public probity, accountability, and transparency. And those are the issues that, that are important in South Africa. And if that is the basis of unity, then that's the right thing to do. But if it's a question of unity at all costs, then that has a totally different meaning. So I think this is an important statement that has been made by the Integrity Commission in that regard.
All right, thank you for that. LAWSON, NAIDOO, thank you for engaging this morning on the issue of the ANC Secretary General and the ANC's Integrity Commission basically coming to the recommendation that he should step aside. Let's see how this process goes forward now, now that it's been pushed to the National Executive Committee of the ANC to carry it forward. To this now, the